What's going on, my PT peeps? One Eye Bri back to talk about The Walking Dead and do a fun discussion video about which character death would hurt the show the most. We posted this same picture question on Instagram, on Facebook, and now we're bringing it to YouTube, and we just want to know your thoughts. I've had a variety of answers, and it's cool. I like to see the differences, and I like to know why. And people like the show for different reasons. They like it for Rick, Daryl, Carl, Carol, and it's just cool to see. So it's a fun discussion video, and here we go, guys. So my first choice and the main choice is Rick Grimes because of how important he is to the show. He's the main character that we're following. He is in so many episodes. He's so many points, so many plot points, so many story arcs, so many things that he brings to the show. Plus, like I said, he's the first guy we've seen on the show and followed him all the way up to now. And would it mean it would hurt the show? Yes, because Rick brings a lot to the show. It would change the show immensely. It would have to be like, who's going to lead now? Who's going to be the main protagonist, the main antagonist? What would be some of the problems that they would have? Leadership would be one. Rick is not the best leader by any means. He makes a lot of mistakes. He makes rash decisions. He thinks too clearly. He doesn't pull the trigger, then he pulls the trigger too quickly. So it's kind of like, what are you doing, Rick? But overall, I think he's a good leader. I think it's great for the show, and Rick Grimes is The Walking Dead and brings a lot to the table. But that doesn't mean that his death would hurt the show the most. For a lot of people, it would. But there's no right or wrong answer. Like I said, like, my favorite character is not Rick Grimes. If you know the channel, if you know my videos, you know who my favorite character is. It's Michonne. So if she was off the show, I would be pissed. I would hate it. I would not be very happy. I would still watch the show. They always like to ask the question on Facebook and different groups, like, if so-and-so died, would you watch the show? Well, you're not a true fan then. Well, people can be pissed, like if Daryl died or when Glenn and Abraham died. That's a big deal, and people can be pissed and people stop watching it. They're going to come back most likely to the show because it's the best show on TV. Now, if Daryl died, a lot of people would hate the show. So his death would be very impactful. The same with Carl's. Now, I don't really agree with that. Carl is, you know, a big character, and I like Chandler Riggs, and I know why a lot of teenagers and a lot of people like Carl. But to me, if he died, it wouldn't be that big of a difference for myself personally. Carol, I love Carol, and if she died, she would change the show for me a lot, just because where she's been, the story arc, and a lot of things like that too. I mean, if they all died, it would change the show, but to me, Rick stands out in front of everybody. Of all the characters, of course, he's the main guy, but any good show, any good movie, to me, like I said before, it's the secondary characters that mean a lot more to the show and make or break the show. Now, we've seen a lot of cast come from season 1 all the way to season 7, gonna be season 8, and it's just crazy to think of all the people that have died and how the show has changed. They like to reinvent it, especially with Negan. People love or hate Negan. If you like the comics or if you love the comics, you know Negan's character is very complex. He's going to be very changing over the series. I doubt he's ever going to die, but he's going to be one of those big things going forward that Negan might turn some people around. You might actually start to like Negan. I know that's crazy, but you might. And let's talk about a recent quote that Robert Kirkman said on Twitter. Rick will not make it to the end of The Walking Dead. So Rick will eventually die, and that'll change the complexity of the comic most likely first. Then, if they ever decide to do it on the show, be pretty ballsy, but I don't know if that will happen. But in the comic, Rick is eventually going to die, Kirkman says. We don't know when that'll be. You know, it could be down the road, it could be years from now. But we'll see what happens. Rick dying is eventually going to happen. So how will that happen and set things up? I think the big setup will be for Carl or Coral. And Kirkman has also said that Carl can carry the comics anytime now. So we'll see if that's legit or not. I think that's the ultimate end game for The Walking Dead, is that Carl Grimes will be the successor to Rick Grimes. Of course, like I said, the comic first. Kirkman's all about the comics, then the show. He likes to mix things up a little bit. But Andrew Lincoln is such a good person on the show and brings a lot of people in. But let's talk about another thing right here. How do you think The Walking Dead will end? So how will it end? We don't know. Kirkman was saying that he figured it out in his mind. It's not going to end for a very long time, so don't worry about any articles that say it's ending, because it's not. A lot of people believe the old man Carl theory. That's why Carl is such a big deal in the show, in the comics, that he will be the last person standing or one of the last people standing. I don't think there will be a cure or any big military people that come in and save the day, but I really hope it's not the Rick coming out of the coma. He dreamt the whole thing, and I know Kirkman has said that that will not happen, and I'm quoting Kirkman a lot, even though he talks a lot of stuff and says a lot of this and pulls stuff out of his butt and tries to confuse us. But I think that would be the worst way to end it. If it's like, Rick was dreaming, hey guys, what's going on? And Andrea, I love the Lori quote, Rick, who's Andrea? So that would be terrible. It would be a funny way if they put that in there and be like, no, we're just kidding, or whatever. It was a dream sequence, and he had that dream where he woke up in the hospital and come out of the hospital and nothing changed. He's just a sheriff at King County, and he was waking up and that was it. And they're like, nah, we're just messing with you. But I don't think that'll ever happen. So the coma theory's got to be out, right? Now, another question I have for you guys is, do you think they will always be in Alexandria, or will they move out somewhere else? They're going to rebuild the hilltop. They're going to do a lot of things in the comics, but if you read comic issue 170, you saw a small group venture out somewhere. And do you think they'll be going more and more places eventually in the show? I would love to see that, but they got a long way to go. If they're in issue 170, they're only around issue 115, 16 right now in season 8. Any of you guys collect mystery minis? I collected these guys on eBay. I got 8 cool figures right there. My favorite one is the Shane one, and I like the Merle, of course, and that's pretty cool. It was a lot, but I'm missing a lot of these guys, and they're tough to find. They're expensive. Each box, they're trying to charge $8.50 or $8.99 when they're usually $5.99 for the series. I looked for the Abraham and Glenn ones online. They're charging a ridiculous amount of money for the one figure because they're 1 out of 72, hard to find. So if you ever find those, definitely pick those up. They're pretty cool. I like my 8 figures on eBay I got. Like I said, the Shane one is the one I definitely wanted to get, and I got it, so it's pretty cool. So let me know if you got any of those figures or not, guys. So who's ready for season 8? I am. I'm ready for season 8. Hurry up, October 22nd. We can't wait for episode 801, which will be the 100th episode of the series. A lot of good videos going around talking about 100 episodes. We got a recap of the top moments from the first 99 episodes, and I'm ready for season 8. How about you guys? I'm excited for the war. I think it's going to be a great season. It might be the best season. What do you think is the best season? I think season 6 is for me right now. Season 8 hopefully tops it, and they get bigger and bigger and better and better. So there you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the stuff that we posted, the questions that we posted. Check out my books online. Fight for Us, the beginning, book 1. Book 2, Fight for Us Reunited. Like I said, it's on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com, and book 3 is right here. I'm working on that right now. About 60-70% done. Then I got to edit it, do it right. Check me out on Instagram at the PT channel and Twitter as well. Give me a follow. Give shout out for shout out. Check out the Walking Dead community page on Facebook. We post up there all the time. It's a group and a page. Definitely welcome to follow. And if you can, guys, hit that subscribe button. Help us achieve our goal of 100,000 subscribers. We can't do without you guys. Stay in the know by subscribing. You guys are awesome, and thank you for watching.